Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? You're tuned in to Clark Radio, division of Clark TV. On the line, I have right now Franco BZ and Joe GZ. How you guys doing tonight?
What's up?
Doing Clark. Good, Clark. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Now, I'm going to say fuck this intro. Fuck talking about all this stuff or all this other stuff right now. Let's talk about what really matters. The Illuminati and the Freemasons trying to control the free world as it is. And one of their techniques, what I've been told and what I've researched, is through pandemics, fake pandemics, such as the swine flu. What are your guys' view on that?
Well,
The
I know
swine
that,
flu thing, you know, obviously, if you actually check into the numbers, it just doesn't, like, I believe if I, off the top of my head, it's 600 and something people died around the world off that initial run when it first came out. And with the normal influenza flu, that it's, you know, so many more people die, but for some reason they're creating this massive scare, kind of similar to the one they had back in 1976. If no one's seen anything like that or any information on that, I totally advise on Googling. Type in, it's a 60 minutes episode they had on the swine flu, where the government did the same type of, the swine flu, H1, oh my God, people are going to die, got to get your vaccine. And then all these people, all scared to death, went and got all these vaccines. And then they had all these people with damages. It was, I believe, 4,000 people had severe neurological damage to them through Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is a very horrible disease to have. A lot of other disorders and stuff. I mean, like I said, just Google 60 minutes, 1976 swine flu. It was an episode that was only shown once, never shown again. Really good piece. I highly recommend it.
And Joe, I got a question for you, because I know Joe's a barometer of all this information. I've known him for years. He follows the paper trail. Where does the swine flu vaccine come from, and what is in it? I hear it's squalene, mercury, and what does that do to our bodies, and especially little kids or pregnant women when they get it?
Well, first thing to say about vaccines is that not every single shot that they're going to give you is going to kill you. It's kind of a bit like playing Russian roulette. You know, like I've talked to some people like, I take it and I didn't die. It's like, well, if there's 12 people in the room and you played Russian roulette, you think everyone's going to die? No. They're not that stupid. They're not going to contaminate every single dose, because people just be dropping off in line in front of you, and you're obviously not, you know what I mean? Like, they spread it out a bit. And if you watch that 1976 swine flu, you'll see like some of their techniques they use in there, where they create different batches for different people, and then certain ones, if those are more contaminated than others, and you know, it's too much of a crapshoot when you're taking that stuff. And not to mention that a lot of the theories based on vaccines are just not even true.
But aren't they? They're man-made, aren't they? They take
virus?
the virus is man-made.
Yeah, this swine flu is a man-made. That, if you Google Dr. Leonard Horowitz, he's probably one of the top guys on vaccine information and all that stuff. He's a doctor. He's researched it thoroughly. Totally recommend his stuff.
Now, guys, I know that it was, I think, last week or the week before that Barack Obama had, I forget what it was, he had declared that the swine flu had reached a pandemic 6. Now, the numbers don't match up, because last time I checked, a few thousand people getting sick but not dying didn't count as a pandemic. What are your guys' views on that?
Joe?
Oh, well, my view on that is you're completely right. It's not a pandemic, because no one's really, all the people that, there were 600, I want to find the actual stats on this. But I mean, it ain't that many people that have died from the swine flu. And statistically, you actually have a better chance of dying in the bathtub than dying from the swine flu. I mean, 600 and some people died around the world.
I think these five in Alberta.
These were people that already had health issues. But, you know, because they died with the swine flu, that counts as a swine flu death. And it's,
now
ridiculous.
Now I'm on Infowars.com right now, taking a look, and I'm looking up something.
The statistic is 816 that died previous to now.
Yeah, but I'm looking right now because of the flu vaccine in America in 1976. More people died because of the vaccine, because the vaccine made the immune system accidentally attack part of the nervous system.
Yeah, it actually causes your immune system to attack itself. So it starts attacking like your back of your spinal cord at your brain there, and you just basically fall apart and you die. More people died from the vaccine than they died from any swine flu. I don't even know if anyone actually died solely from the swine flu.
Well, I know that
they have something else wrong with them.
I know that only one case in Calgary of a young Calgary boy, age 13, who died a few days ago because of the swine flu. He is the only confirmed case in Alberta, and I may even be right by saying Canada, to die solely of the swine flu.
Well, I just would like to make a little note on that one too.
Yeah.
Is that's what they say now, but I remember a few months ago when they had when people were dying back then.
Yeah.
And they came on the news and said they had solely died from the swine flu. And then you're like, oh, really, really? And then you Google it 2-3 weeks later, and then it's like, oh, yeah, but he had this and he had this. Didn't have a disease, but he had something else totally. And you're just like, well, I mean, he may have died solely from it. I don't know that for sure yet. I haven't checked into it myself.
Because
something to keep in the back of your mind is that they'll come out and say whatever initially, because when it's just like 9/11 is. When it happens initially, it's the emotion that they pump in, and oh my God, the fear, and get everyone going, and then after the fact, when you check into the facts and get everything straightened out a couple weeks later, and you find the truth, it doesn't matter because everyone's believing that anyways.
Yeah, and in fact, I know. I did know a person who passed away, and everybody was saying it was because of swine flu, but in fact, it wasn't, because it was a group of different things. Not only was it the swine flu, the person also had pneumonia, plus asthma, plus a bunch of other health issues. And I think that every government around the world has completely blown this out of proportion, because a majority of the people that are dying because of, and I say this with, in quotes, because of swine flu, a majority of them already have major health problems, like lung problems, like, having asthma, and some of them already have lung infections like pneumonia. So I'm not convinced, and I hope all the listeners right now are not convinced that people are dying just because of the swine flu. And I can't even say that there has been a confirmed case of somebody dying just because of the swine flu.
Well, I would like to say something, because I know that swine flu and vaccines aren't new, and that a lot of diseases, preventable diseases, came into play when they started mass vaccination programs in the early 80s, and then we came up with lots of cases of autism and asthma, ADD, and all these sorts of things didn't really show up until after they started vaccinating people. Now, what's your thoughts on that, Joe?
Yeah, if you check out, there's tons of information. But yeah, you're totally right, Franco.
Now, going back to these vaccines and all that, I have a couple friends who are in the not high government, but in government for Canada and all that, and Canada is preparing to do a mass inoculation of this vaccine, doing a mass mandatory vaccination. What are your guys' views on that?
Well, I know eventually where they're trying to work this to is to mandatory vaccines. That's going to be their actual where everyone has to, and if you don't,